Okay, 2004 Jeep Wrangler. I had another video of it when we first got it in. Had a little bit, I thought, of a lifter noise, but it had been rolled over, so I changed the oil on it, and that went away. It's only got 92,000 miles, so, and an 04, that's one of the better motors they made for TJs. It was a 0506, they changed them, they had some issues with those. These ones are actually really good. And you can use these from a 2000 Jeep Wrangler 4.0 to a 2004, and then you can also interchange them on a 1999 Grand Cherokee all the way up to also 04. But again, and just hear it. So it sounds really good. I mean, you can, there's maybe a little bit of a dry lifter noise, but I think that as we keep running it, it keeps clearing out. It's gotten quieter and quieter. Put some good oil in it and go to town with it. But it will be drained before we ship it, and then I just want to verify, show you the miles here. So, and you got good oil pressure there, and we always check them for the engine codes. Matter of fact, I'll probably have you do that in a second. Okay. And we'll list that there just to show that it's probably an O2 sensor or something small, but those will be available as well. And this engine, I guarantee, will not last because it's they do not come in, like I said, with that kind of mileage on them. And this is a Rubicon, not that it matters, but it's kind of nice that it comes out of one of the higher end models. So the harness is going to be available, the computer, the ECM. It's got obviously the axles. The doors have sold on it already. The thing's already coming apart fairly quick. So it's got 44 front and rear, some nice wheels on it, aftermarket bumper. It's a little banged up, but not too bad. The hood itself is not great. It's not terrible. It's workable, I guess, depending on what you're doing with it. But it's got a big louver on it, and that actually is in decent shape. It's got a little bit of rash up there, but pretty solid. The cowl's in good shape. The rest of the top, the windshield frame was pretty bad, and then the roll bar. Roll bar might be okay, actually. The front extensions are definitely bent down. And it's got some decent tread on these tires still. I think there was a chunk out of one of them though. And then of course the swing out tire carrier. I believe the tailgate might be okay on this as well, but we'll oh, he's got it open here. Ray, you didn't shut the tailgate, man. So we'll make sure that opens and closes. And if so, we'll get it listed. And yeah, that's gonna be it. So give us a call if you want any parts on this one or anything else we have. If you've seen our yard before, this is our inside our shop. This is our shipping area, parts cleaning area. Kind of got our dismantle area over here for inside stuff, and then going out here, we got our yard, which is about 7 acres. But it's all usable and it's all permitted for which in this day and age you got to have that. But you got our radiators and radiator shrouds up there underneath the thing. All those totes are actually filled with axle shafts. I just went through those. Most of the stuff we have is light collision, if anything, not collision at all. We buy a lot of private party Jeeps. We spend a lot more on our Jeeps because of that. But we're able to get pretty much everything out of them when we buy them like that. And there's, like I said, every once in a while we'll buy something that has been hit. Even those ones are costing us a fortune right now at auction by the time you get the fees and transport in. But you know, it's the world we live in, unfortunately, in some ways, and you just kind of make up for it on the cost of the parts, which is, you know, the kind of unfortunate side sometimes. But at the same time, I mean, these are good quality parts. They're almost all of our parts come out of our vehicles come out of California, Arizona, some from Colorado. We have to watch those. They're starting to get a little bit rusty, so we don't buy as much out of here. We buy nothing from the Midwest, East Coast, unless it's purely for internal, like inside parts or sometimes harnesses. Otherwise, we stay out of the Midwest, East Coast, because they're too rusty. I mean, you can see frame quality. This is a YJ. It's got dirt along there, but when we get this thing hot seed, that's all factory paint. I mean, there's not a spot of rust on these frames. So, and lately we've had a couple TJs come in that have been rollovers, and we usually don't mess with them because a lot of times they're still got some issues. But that was a 2.4, which is really hard to get out of an 0.4. And then of course the one inside's a Rubicon, and we took a chance. Sometimes we buy those Rubicons and they end up eating our lunch because if one of the big items on them, which is usually the axles or the transfer case, is bad or bent or broken or anything like that, which that one we have a video of it running and driving, moving. We put the lockers in, they all engaged, used the transfer case, so everything was great on that one. But we've bought those before and got them back to the shop, and lo and behold, they got a hole in the T-case or axles bent, and that takes the value of a Rubicon out the window. So, you know, we almost have, I think, almost $9,000 or a little over $9,000 in that one. And you know, the axles will make a big portion of that up. Otherwise, like I said, we'd eat our lunch get our lunch eaten on that one. So but anyway, here's the yard. This is kind of a mess right now. We had all these parts in totes, and just recently I said, you know, it's so hard to go through these totes, and we got all the shelving, so let's get it all laid out. Anything that won't get harmed, just put on the ground for now, sort it out, which we did. All these are actually in piles. You can kind of see the layout of everything. This is probably about probably about a solid acre of just our parts, and it's just dense because it's I didn't want to take a lot of our yard space up. So then of course you got our donor vehicles are over here, and what's left of them. You can see on YJs the tubs sell the fastest, on TJs the frames sell the fastest. JKs, it's kind of the internal parts. This one just came in. This is a 2015. It's got 42,000 I think on this one. Let's see, I think it tells us here, maybe. Oh, it's faded, but I believe this one's 42K on this one. Not that it matters, but I'll double check that. I'm almost positive this one had 42,000, which is one of the reasons we bought it. But again, costs an arm and a leg to buy the low mileage stuff, but that way you get a vehicle and you don't have to install parts twice. So anyway, I blabbed on enough. Yeah, we've been around for a long time. Since '84 we've been doing this. I moved the company a couple years ago, wanted out of the Denver area, just the traffic, and grew up in the Western Slope, wanted back over here, so we brought the whole business over here. It took forever to move it, literally like 3 years solid trucking, and I couldn't be happier over here. And my crew is a good crew. I'm very proud of what we do over here. There's the windshield frame for the Rubicon. But yeah, so you know, it's kind of fun every once in a while to kind of show, you know, who we are and what we do. And I think that's it. 303-666-9020. Again, that's 303-666-9020. It's a Denver number because it's our legacy number. We've had it forever, so we just decided to roll with it over here on the Western Slope. But you can reach us there. You can reach us. We have a really cool thing on the website. We're pretty good on it, where you can chat with us on there. You know, just go to jeepsunlimited.net and do a chat request. If we're not on there right then, we'll get back with you within a day. Otherwise, let's see. That's another form. Oh, you can always email us too. Of course, that's out there. That's sales@jeepsunlimited.net. So our parts move very quickly, especially on the more sought after parts. CJ parts, Rubicon parts, YJ tubs, TJ frames. That's really what we're known for. That's like what we've kind of, over the last couple years, kind of really specialized in. So anyway, back to Rubicon. Thank you for watching, and have a great one.